Needs to learn to treat its waste in a clean and practical manner at the ward level. Earth Center is being built as a prototype along with a cafe and an art gallery to make waste treatment trendy. Earth Center is a place right in the dense urban population where you have a center which not only treats the waste but also demonstrates how waste can be treated in a very clean and a very crisp manner. The idea is to ensure that our life, our understanding of how we consume, our understanding of what we throw away really becomes the center point of our decisions towards sustainability. So for the Earth Center, we are currently building a prototype. We can't wait to see the reaction and response that people will give to such a thing. We are sure that the local and the state governments will also support it in the long run. Sustainability has to grow from an abstract idea to on-ground practical reality. To ensure that, sustainability initiatives concentrates on the areas of knowledge through research, capacity building, advocacy, and outreach. The training and exposure visits of students from colleges have been planned and executed to achieve this through SI's highly successful internship program. In fact, quite a few Japanese interns take advantage of this learning every year. Sustainability initiatives through its training and awareness program aims to create youngsters which are not only technically sound but also empathetic and balanced in their decision making for a better future of India. While I was working as an intern with SI, I got the opportunity to be involved in the most impactful and relevant urban sustainability projects and works. Sustainability Initiatives has an exhaustive internship program which not only concentrates on practical experience as well as the technical core learning. They got the opportunity to talk with the industry people, getting into the premium institute, learning about what these people at these institutes are wanting from an architect and wanting from an environmental architect. So that interaction gave them first-hand information that what is needed. As a student, I got an opportunity of visiting green-rated buildings in Pune, organized by SI. I saw various strategies implemented for energy and water production. Another example is the SETU, which is a link between industry and academic institutions. We as a group of technical experts, we as a group of professionals, we thought that we could contribute and try and bridge this gap between formal education and what the profession requires. We plan to bring in a big insight into the learnings that these students get through their academics, but do not get practical know-how. As a group of professionals, we encapsulate all our learnings into form of modules which can be offered to students who are passing out of professional courses so they are ready for the industry. They will get to spend time with industry stalwarts. They will get to do a lot of work through various workshops with different materials, different techniques, technologies to make sure that these students get a wholesome insight into whatever topic that they choose. Concept of green roofs came about through our research on urban heat island effect. We realized that there are many measures which can be undertaken at a building level to render the entire environment a little more eco-friendly. Majority of the buildings are having a flat roof or what we call as a terrace. It keeps emitting a lot of heat during the night, which increases the ambient temperature. Instead of looking at very grey and white, stark looking tops of buildings from various different heights, you actually get to see green. So it gives a good amount of visual amenity and visual comfort as well. Increasing the greenness of the city would mean that you are creating carbon sinks and it would help in carbon sequestration. We hope that we will convince the government, at least the local self-government, to come up with a policy where they can also, again, similar to Chicago, reduce the urban heat island effect and increase the biodiversity in the city. Knowledge sharing, public involvement, strategic tie-ups with like-minded professionals and organizations, working with different stakeholders to understand their concerns helps SI in its goal of participatory planning and inclusive development.
In the past 10 years, SI has also organized several outreach activities to bring the people together, create awareness, and help the society.
We are also running social media campaigns to create awareness about personal carbon footprint and to show how small changes in our actions can have a larger impact in combating climate change.
Be it various community movements, or even help during disasters, or an active role in policy advocacy, policy documents, as well as creation. Sustainability initiatives stand shoulder to shoulder with all stakeholders throughout this journey.
It has been a roller coaster ride for us. When we started, we were enthusiastic. Then was a phase when we started questioning ourselves whether we will be able to make an impact or not. And then we realized that this is a slow process.
There are various underdeveloped or developing countries and economies who look up to India and Indian experience, Indian success stories, and I believe that's a huge area of work which SI can tap.
We really want to move ahead with a lot more rigor, with a whole host of different activities, different events, visions for the future, so that we can move towards sustainability at an even greater pace.
Where I would like to see SI in the future is to maybe become a sustainability partner of a city like Pune or a metro region or a local self-government organization.
I'm really proud of what SI has achieved in the last 10 years. And we'll continue to chase our dreams to make lives better.
As professionals, as citizens, as concerned human beings, the visuals shoot them. In front of them was a fast growing town without a holistic development plan. Armed with knowledge, backed with the right professionals, they were determined to make a change.
The germ of the thought really began about 10 years ago, more than that, in fact. And the whole idea was to pool in the resources of like-minded people.
At VK Architecture, Environment, Interiors, Urban, we have this as a part of our DNA that we work with many other associates, partners. So we have carried forward that culture in sustainability initiatives that larger impact.
We are architects, urban planners, environmental scientists, air pollution experts, traffic and transportation planners, all working towards the various facets of sustainability.
We have many NGOs working for the rural sector, whereas very few who are working and contributing actively and scientifically in the urban space. And that is where SI was born.
This is not a profit-oriented body. This is something we want to give back to society. With that intention, the sustainability initiative was started.
SI has brought together various stakeholders, right from research to completion of the projects, helping citizens enjoy a better quality of life in the last decade. Sustainability initiatives realized urban renewal needed to start with knowledge.
We realized that there is a serious need of getting exposures in this subject and some kind of a training in urban planning, but particularly in urban renewal.
The government officials were exposed to learning through both academicians and practitioners. leading to a practical and highly successful outcome.
During our work, we visited a lot of road networks in the Barcelona city, and we are very impressed from their road jumping concept. And that road jumping saves a lot of space, public space at the road corner in the city. So we are very happy to incorporate these ideas in our development plan. The customized training program on urban renewal has not only given exposure across the world to our senior officers, but has helped them in formulating the best policies and implementation of those policies in better manner.
Sustainability initiatives joined hands with the Pune Municipal Corporation to develop urban street design guidelines. This would encourage people to adopt public transport and other non-motorized ways of travel, leading to less pollution and traffic jams.
Recently, we had an electric mobility workshop in which sustainability initiative did a lot of support and help to the city and to the various technical experts from different organizations. And they brought all these technical partners and the government officials on one platform. And we have had a very successful workshop where the plan was to discuss how do we make Pune city EV ready.
Our collaboration with sustainability initiatives started during the second half of the Global Mayors Challenge 2021, where we both worked towards a common goal of helping the city of Pune finish amongst the top 15 cities in the world.
Through this initiative, our role has been to bring all the stakeholders on one platform so that we are able to understand the challenges, the issues, and what really needs to happen in the city so that we can shift towards electric vehicles.
This is the age of collaboration. This is the age of joining the dots. Clarity is something which cannot be done without the involvement of common people.
The city needs to learn to treat its waste in a clean and practical manner at the ward level. Art Center is being built as a prototype along with a cafe and an art gallery to make waste treatment trendy.
Earth Center is a place right in the dense urban population where you have a center which not only treats the waste but also demonstrates how waste can be treated in a very clean and a very crisp.
India needs to ensure that our life, our understanding of how we consume, our understanding of what we throw away, really becomes the center point of our decisions towards sustainability.
In our center, we are currently building a prototype. We can't wait to see the reaction and response that people will give to such a thing. We are sure that the local and the state governments will also support it in the long run.
Sustainability has to grow from an abstract idea to on-ground practical reality. To ensure that, sustainability initiatives concentrates on the areas of knowledge through research, capacity building, advocacy, and outreach. The training and exposure visits of students from colleges have been planned and executed to achieve this through SI's highly successful internship program. In fact, quite a few Japanese interns take advantage of this learning every year.
Sustainability initiatives through its training and awareness program aims to create youngsters which are not only technically sound but also empathetic and balanced in their decision making for a better future of India.
While I was working as an intern with SI, I got the opportunity to be involved in the most impactful and relevant urban sustainability projects and works. Sustainability Initiatives has an exhaustive internship program which not only concentrates on practical experience as well as technical core learning.
They got the opportunity to talk with the industry people, getting into the premium institute, learning about what these people at these institutes are wanting from an architect and wanting from an environmental architect. So that interaction gave them first-hand information that what is needed.
As a student, I got an opportunity of visiting green-rated buildings in Pune, organized by ISAC. I saw various strategies implemented for energy and water reduction.
Another example is the SETU, which is a link between industry and academic institutions.
We as a group of technical experts, we as a group of professionals, we thought that we could contribute and try and bridge this gap between formal education and what the profession requires.
We plan to bring in a big insight into the learnings that these
students get through their academics, but do not get practical know-how.
As a group of professionals, we felt that we could encapsulate all our learnings into form of modules which can be offered to students who are passing out of professional courses so they are ready for the industry.
They will get to spend time with industry stalwarts. They will get to do a lot of work through various workshops with different materials, different techniques, technologies to make sure that these students get a wholesome insight into whatever topic that they choose.
Concept of green roofs came about through our research on urban heat island effect.
We realized that there are many measures which can be undertaken at a building level to render the entire environment a little more eco-friendly.
Majority of the buildings are having a flat roof or what we call as a terrace. It keeps emitting a lot of heat during the night, which increases the ambient temperature. Instead of looking at very gray and white, stark looking tops of buildings from various different heights, you actually get to see green. So it gives a good amount of visual amenity and visual comfort as well.
Increasing the greenness of the city would mean that you are creating carbon sinks and it would help in carbon sequestration.
We hope that we will convince the government, at least the local self government, to come up with a policy where they can also, again, similar to Chicago, reduce the urban heat island effects and increase the biodiversity in the city.
Knowledge sharing, public involvement, strategic tie-ups with like-minded professionals and organizations. Working with different stakeholders to understand their concerns helps SI in its goal of participatory planning and inclusive development.
In the past 10 years, SI has also organized several outreach activities to bring the people together, create awareness, and help the society.
We are also running social media campaigns to create awareness about personal carbon footprint and to show how small changes in our actions can have a larger impact in combating climate change.
Be it various community movements or even help during disasters or an active role in policy advocacy as well as creation. Sustainability initiatives stands shoulder to shoulder with all stakeholders throughout this journey.
It has been a roller coaster ride for us. When we started, we were enthusiastic. Then was a phase when we started questioning ourselves whether we will be able to make an impact or not. And then we realized that this is a slow process.
There are way
ह्याला असं बसवलं तर टेबलला लावलंय का टेबल फक्त म्हणजे जाता येते हे नाही हे टेबलला काय नाही टेबलला असं जाता येते जास्त म्हणून क्रॉस करू का मग हे मध्ये येईल ना हे अँगल फिक्स केलं ठीक आहे त्याच्यावर घेऊ नको नको जातील ते फक्त थोडा धक्का नको लावू नाही काय नाही उलट ह्याला धक्का नाही लावणार पण असं इकडून
Hello.
Hello everyone. So there is a refreshment going on at the behind. If anybody wants to have tea or refreshment, please don't stop yourself to sit here. Thanks.
Keep on doing all of these things.
Hello, all. We will begin the program in 5 minutes.
Yeah, Vishwas.
Hello and good evening to all of you. A warm welcome to our esteemed guests, all dignitaries, faculties, participating team, students, and my dear friends. On behalf of Sustainability Initiatives and Habitat Forum INAF, we would like to welcome all of you for the felicitation ceremony of the winners of Open Idea National Competition Season 5 and Housing Studio Program, along with our principal partner, Pandhe Group, also known as AVP Group. Sustainability Initiatives is a Pune-based NGO founded by a group of professionals from planning, architecture, environmental science background, working towards resilient, equitable, and environmentally responsible cities. And Habitat Forum, INAF, is an Indian non-profit network founded to bring together professionals, academicians, civil society organizations working on rural and urban settlements. With this note, let us start today's program with the national anthem. I would request all of you to please stand up.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जय गण मंगल जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय जय हे
Bharat Mata ki Jai. Thank you. Please be seated. Now let us hear from our organizers of this program, the background and details of this competition. Now I request Architect Anaga Paranspek Purohit, Trustee Sustainability Initiatives and Director Partner VK Group to provide a brief about the Open Ideas National Competition and Housing Studio Program. Thank you, Ketki. If I could just have my presentation up, it's a very short one, just to lay the context of today's event. So, as you all know, we are all gathered here with one motive or one purpose, one objective, which is to make our homes livable. And this is most prominent, or the need of this is most prominent in very small homes, which we are today giving under the Prime Minister's leadership. We are giving to the people of India this shortage of housing, which had plagued us for the past 30-40 odd years, that is now being covered under the Pradhan Mantri I.A.S. Yojana and various schemes. But the whole effort that we are all undertaking under the Open Ideas National Competition is to find ways and means where designers, architects can sort of put their best foot forward and find solutions which make these very small homes livable. So again, just to put you in context. Yeah. So this felicitation ceremony today marks the culmination of this competition. There were two parts to this competition, which also I will place in front of you later. But the idea or the purpose was just this, that to put best minds together to find solutions to make our homes livable. So these were the questions that we started with. The founder of this competition, who will also speak after me, and hopefully Kirtish Bhai will cover the points that I miss. But the idea was when INHAF started this competition about 5 seasons before, and for the past 2 seasons, they approached sustainability initiatives for partnership. And these were the questions that we were trying to address. One was, how can we design small homes which are people centric? Today what happens is they are either DCR centric, or they are public policy centric, or cost centric, but how do we put people at the center? Can we design affordable housing without compromising dignity, quality, and sustainability? Because that's the age of climate change that we are living in, and often at the expense of cost saving, at the expense of many other constraints and challenges, sustainability or the thought of sustainability is often lost. So can we integrate that and keep it integrated? And the third one was, of course, that how can we thoughtfully design poor people's homes so that their lives are made better and they do not remain poor for in the next foreseeable future. Like Ketki mentioned, so INHAF and sustainability initiatives came together to partner for season 4 and season 5, and that's how the whole initiative rolled out. These were some of the points that we started with: livability with dignity, climate responsive thinking, community-based design. That, what does the community seek? See, because if you see, as our affluence grows, as we shift from lower middle class to middle class and then to higher middle class, our reliance on community actually goes down. But when poor people are leading their lives, particularly in cities away from their villages, community becomes very important. So are we creating homes where they get that feel of the community? Long-term sustainability is very important because these homes are going to be in our world for the next 50, if not more years. We see buildings, even as old as 80, 90 years old, particularly when they're given by the government. So we have to definitely think about how these buildings are going to operate in this scenario where climate change is looming upon us. And of course, I spoke about people-centric design. What is it that the stakeholders need, and are we as designers giving it to them? This was the one part of the whole program, which was the Open Ideas National Competition. It was rolled out throughout the country, and we got a very good response this year. We had a lot of participation through which multiple designs were put forth. So much of effort has gone into it to create the designs that we sought. But on the other side, we also felt that students need to be touched upon for this particular segment of small homes or building small homes. And hence we came up with this idea of a housing studio. So 5 architecture colleges became participants in this program, where their 3rd year or 4th year students, which have as a part of their academic requirements, housing as a design, they participated to, so there was little bit of hand holding with them. Kirti bhai spent time with them. A few of us also had communication with the students to transfer this idea of being a little sensitive in their design when it comes to small homes. And through this we had Brick College of Architecture, Vishwakarma University, Vellore Institute of Technology all the way from Tamil Nadu, S.B. Patil College of Architecture in Pune, and Bharati Vidyapit College of Architecture again in Pune participate through their housing studio. And then whatever designs came out of the housing studios were submitted again in the competition. So there were 2 parts to it. Like I said, an Open Ideas National Competition where it was open for everybody, and then we had the competition amongst the students from these 5 colleges. This is our esteemed jury. Most of the jury members unfortunately couldn't make it to Pune due to other commitments, but this jury spent a long fruitful hours poring over all your designs. We were online when this communication was happening. We put up all the sheets in front of them. There were a lot of back and forth discussions that happened, from which final the winners and the special mentions came out. Just a few glimpses of how the whole thing turned out. So, we have at Sustainability Initiatives, we have a working studio where most of these jury discussions happened. We visited colleges at various points during the studio to sort of just see that whether they are on track. Because see, we have to really understand that our lifestyles and the poor people whom we are designing, or I hate to call them poor people really, but people who can afford small homes, they have a different lifestyle. So the idea was to keep on talking about all of this, ensuring that they go and visit some of these people, go and visit the slums in and around the city that they are in. Not always slums, but people in the even in the rural sector where they're not necessarily in slums, but are living in dilapidated housing, and whether if the rural housing can also be improved. So through these discussions with the students, I think we at least were trying to put that spark inside their minds that let's think about the other half who is not affording architectural services by paying fees, but who really need our solutions. Just a few glimpses. This is at Brick College. And finally, once again, we look at, first we thrash out a few, designs that we feel are good. And then again, in a smaller jury, we ended up coming up with the winners. And last year's winner of the competition, just a photograph where, students sort of were felicitated for putting in so much effort and a great design. So this is it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anil ma'am. Really, the communities and long-term sustainability is a key aspect for future development. So I think on this note, thank you for setting the tone for today's program. On this note, I would like to invite Kirti ji for sharing his insights and background about the program.
Thank you. I honestly do not know what to say and what to start, because when I saw this program, I have 5 minutes, and I said, what do I say in 5 minutes? Because I require 5 hours to say this story. Let me kind of do 3 things very, very quickly in about not 5 minutes, but about 10 minutes. One is the larger picture. And the larger picture is the picture of our cities. And because I don't have much time to kind of rattle off statistics and tell stories in terms of what is happening, let me draw 3 scenarios which I talk about time and again. I go on saying that, our cities are not in good health. And we are not on track when it comes to dealing with the whole issue of managing urban challenge. And I give 3 examples. We have 3 capitals. We have many more capitals in this country, but 3 capitals certainly. We have Bombay as the financial capital, which generates 35% of the state's resources. And it's the only city in the world where if you draw a graph, people living in slums is taller than people living in normal housing. That's our Bombay. We have a huge crisis of housing. We have Delhi as a capital city of the country. And its air is so polluted that High Court described it as gas chamber. You know what gas chamber is? So that was our political capital. And we have a spiritual capital called Varanasi, Benares. And we have been, for the last 40 years, running a special ministry to clean up Ganga Maya. So point I'm trying to make is this, that if we as country has not looked at our political capital, as our economic, financial capital, our religious capital, our social capital, our cultural capital, how would we have looked at our Palanpurs and our small cities? Point I'm trying to make is this, that we have a huge problem on our face. And this problem is this. No one can deny the statistic which I'll give you just now. India will have 870 million people living in our cities. 870 in 24 more years, in 2050. No one can deny this, but more, not less. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, are we ready for that? Are we ready to house them? Are we ready to employ them? Are we ready to kind of, provide them schools and hospitals and playgrounds and look at them in a sustainable way? And there's only one answer, that we are not prepared. And then if I go and sing time and again, that I don't think, to me, climate challenge is as big as the urban challenge. And it is that particular context that we started looking at what is happening. We started looking at Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is a remarkable scheme in a number of ways. It's very well conceived. It has a huge number, 12 million in the first go, 10 million in the second go. We've never heard these figures in this country when we talk about millions of houses. This happened. And it's very well thought through in the context of its understanding of market, in understanding of how people build houses, how people get houses, understand the supply side, the demand side, the supplies, the delivery system, all that. But if you really go down, and if you look at the houses which get designed, and I'm talking about only the affordable housing, I'm talking about the formal housing, you find out there are a huge number of problems. And the major problem is, asking an architect sitting here, if you're designing a 10,000 square feet house, doesn't matter. What you do, how good you are, how careful you are, how thoughtful you are. But if you're designing a 350 square feet house, it's very important. They're going to be very, very careful. Problems are two. In India, houses last very long. You're talking about 3 generations of people living in these houses. The children who live in these houses, the women who live in these houses, older people who live in these houses, they are the ones who are going to get culture. They are the ones, citizenship is going to happen in these houses. And if you're looking for good citizenship, you need good housing. And if you need good houses, you've got to design them. Now you must understand, I'm very reluctantly talking about designing housing because I believe very strongly that housing is not a designer's profession in this country. Housing in this country is predominantly people sector activity. Let me explain what I mean by people sector activity. India has 638,000 villages and 190 million houses. 70% of them have been designed by people themselves. No architects, no engineer, no hardcore, no HDFC, nothing. Which really means people are great designers of the houses. I many time and again say that architects and designers and real estate people talking about housing is a misnomer because people are the designer. Take urban areas. You may not know this, but the biggest producers of housing in our cities are not private sector, not public sector, it's the community sector. Largest number of houses are even today built by slum dwellers. So that was the whole picture when we started looking at the whole thing. That even though it's a very small part, is an important part. And we could look at design. And we found out there's a huge problem in terms of reaching out to people to live for next 3 generations. And therefore we thought of this competition. And therefore we call it Improving Livability of Small Houses competition. And of course, Anil has talked about how it's developed. Now I want to kind of cut short and tell you 3 things, 4 things, 5 things very quickly in 2 minutes. One thing that I want to tell you is this. How has this competition itself has grown? Grown in terms of widen its horizon and started looking at things which we think are very important. When I started this, I was talking about affordable housing. I was talking about houses like the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So that was the focus. I was not even talking about slums. But then we started looking at affordable housing. We found out looking at affordable housing is not enough. If you're talking about improving livability, we then said we've got to look at slums and slum improvement, slum development, incremental housing, and all that sort of thing. We say added slums into the whole picture. Then we found out if you're in India, and if you believe that you can't look at urbanization and city development and growth in the future, you can't look at cities in isolation. You've got to look at villages as continuum. So we added rural housing as a third component. We found out houses are not enough. House building is not enough. Let us look at what options we have in terms of interior design, in terms of furniture, which could make houses more livable. We added that. And this time, in the next few months, when we announced this, I was wanted to announce it today, but you said no. That we are adding a whole new dimension of designing for climate change. We cannot run away from it, and therefore we've got to kind of do that. This is the first part of how has the competition grown. I also want to use this opportunity to vent a bit of my frustration. And they are very positive and always look at the brighter stories. I tend to look at not always bright stories. And that is this. We are aiming to reach the country. This country is huge. This country is very complex. And this competition is not reaching very far. We've got to put a huge amount of effort into reaching out. She said, Negaji said, our hall is full. And I was thinking about a cricket match this evening. In Ahmedabad, there'd be 120,000 people in the stadium. And that's my image of when you think about changes, think about, I think, in a different direction. You think about, I think, a new paradigm. You require that kind of number. You will never have that kind of number. But we are not talking about 60 entries. I want 600 entries. I want 6,000 entries. And I really want a large number of schools. We're not talking about 5 colleges participating. The country has 530 architecture schools. What are they doing? So that's the second part of the ambition. The third part of the ambition, which I wanted to mention very, very quickly, is this. And in the studio meeting that we had prior to this particular meeting was this, that what impact are we creating? Whole idea is this, and people sitting here will not like my saying it, but architecture profession in this country is completely delinked from societal challenges, completely delinked. And therefore, the major task of this competition is not to design good houses, is to reorient professionals, is to make them think differently, is to look at the other side of the story, whose real clients are. We don't do that. And I personally feel if you're really talking about reorientation, if you're talking about a profession to be different, you've got to reach out more effectively. In fact, I was a bit delighted and happy when I asked this question in the meeting, whether you are, those who are sitting in the meeting, getting reoriented, and overwhelming response was this: yes, we are getting reoriented. We are looking at things differently. We are going to the communities very differently. Our picture is changing. And I think it's very, very helpful. I hope it spreads. My next thing, in the context of expecting, that issue is not few architects. Issue is system. Education system, which produces this. Housing delivery system, which is producing this. Housing finance system, which is producing this. And therefore, if you really kind of go on adding layers, a large number of layers that you've got to look at. And as I just described earlier, the growth trajectory of this competition, there are many more things to be added. And I think we're still at the beginning. And we've got to kind of think more, we've got to do more. And then my last thing is, sorry, I'm taking a lot of time. Last thing that I want to say, I've come all the way from Ahmedabad. My wife, every time I come to Pune, said, what is there in Pune? I think, why don't you do this in Ahmedabad? So my last thing is this, that if you are looking at this entire thing, not only in the context of design, not only in the context of housing delivery, but in the larger picture of society, larger picture of life, you've got to kind of have a much bigger vision of what you're trying to look at. And we know very well we require enormous amount of changes in the way we think, we do things. And it's not only climate change. Everything around us requires to do that. And I think you've got to kind of look at housing as an entry point. Because that is a subject in which we're supposed to deal with. And if that is a subject we are dealt with, it's very important that we have a larger picture. And I think we are not there at this point of time in larger picture. So point I'm trying to make is this, that those who have won in the last 5 seasons are our new partners. We want to relate with them. We want to talk to them. We want to bring them into the whole process of doing this, organizing this. And my last thing is this, I'm eternally grateful to SI for this help which we are getting, this focus we are getting, this platform we are getting. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith, sir. That was really thought-provoking, and I hope we'll get more and more updated with the kind of issues that you have raised, and we can address them together. Now, let us understand the overall agenda of this program. So, we will have a presentation on rural housing by architect Rutuja Ghadge, lead rural housing INHAF, a case study presentation by Mr. Vishwanath Phadke from AVP Group, special presentation by OINC winner showcasing jurors' preferable entry, followed by award ceremony by the hands of our eminent guests, followed by the address by chief guest and keynote address by architect Geoffrey Payne. On this note, we would like to invite our chief guest and felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Kunal Tilak. He's a young mayor of this city. Also, he is a grandson of Freedom
of our ex-mayor.
Yes, ex-mayor Muktatai Tilak and a grandson of Indian freedom fighter Lokmanya Balgangadhar Tilak. And we are fortunate to have you, sir, with us in this program. Thank you so much. I would like to request Vishwas sir, founder director VK Group, to just felicitate Kunalji on this note. Big applause. He's also practicing lawyer and is representing Bharatiya Janata Party. So thank you, sir. And we would looking forward for your guidance as well. Thank you. As a keynote speaker, we have Mr. Geoffrey Payne, Housing and Urban Development Consultant, who have spread his valuable time and shown digital presence to encourage the participants for this program. We are thankful to him for his involvement, and we will hear him in some time later. So, further to move on, any competition or academic exercise is incomplete without a thoughtful critical review and a jury. With their expert eye, jurors evaluate many dimensions of the design, concept, innovation, functionality, sustainability, and overall impact, carefully assessing each entry and guiding it towards the recognition and excellence. Jury for this Open Ideas National Competition has combination of architects, planners, academicians, urban designers, and leaders. Mr. Kirti Shah, president of Indian Habitat Forum, INHAF, Architect Anagha Paranspe Purohit, Trustee Sustainability Initiatives and Director Partner VK Group, an architect and environmental planner. Architect Dwaipan Chakravarti, Core Member Sustainability Initiatives, Division Leader at VK Group, an architect and urban designer. Dr. Geeta Vaidyanathan, Associate Professor of Environmental Management with expertise in environmental planning, resource governance, and sustainable development. Mr. Vivek Raval, Founder, Member, and Director of People in Center, working on community-centric urban development and disaster risk reduction. Dr. Marty Wayne Aird, Human Geographer researching housing rights, displacement, resettlement, livelihoods, and gender. Ms. Monica Albonico, Principal at Albonico SAC Musmar Architects and Urban Designer. Mr. Gautam Ban, Urbanist working on poverty, inequality, housing, and social protection. Associate Dean at IIHS School of Human Development and Senior Lead Academician and Research at IISH. Ms. Gayatri Ratnam, an architect trained at CET Tiruvananthapuram, was mentored by Laurie Baker and contributed to Gautam Bhatia's work on him. Architect Geeta Balakrishnan, founder of Ethos Foundation, she actively promotes responsible, inclusive design values among future architects. Jury for Housing Studio are Amruta Shinde, Anagha Paranspe Purohit, Dwaipan Chakravarti, Girija Indulkar, Kirti Shaha, Riddhi Bora, Shreyas Paranspe, and Tejas Patil. We are truly fortunate to have an enthusiastic and dynamic panel of professionals serving as a jury for this competition, and very much grateful to them for their experience, insight, and commitment to design excellence. It will inspire participants to strive for higher standards and meaningful innovation. Thank you so much, jury. Now I would like to invite Architect Rutuja Ghadge, Lead Rural Housing, to present the Rural Housing by INHAF.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rutuja. I work with INHAF on Rural Habitat Initiative. So I will quickly take few minutes of yours to talk about our recent work under the Rural Habitat Initiative. Since this room brings together the most passionate person working on housing, so it will be really good to have conversation going and understand the ideas or your feedback. Yeah, so yeah, as Kirti sir already pointed out, this we live in a country where we have more than 6 lakh villages, and with the government intervention under the rural housing programs have been scaled and being involved with a large scale as well as transformation being happening in our villages. So we look at a number. So till 2025, we have 3.85 crores of houses being sanctioned under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, and out of which 2.82 crores have been already built. And also additionally, there will be 2 crore more houses being built in next 5-year plan. So one of the key efforts to address this issue, we worked on understanding the status of our villages and what's happening in terms of housing. So we initiated this study in 2021 with partnering with 4 organizations: Mashal, Gram Vikas, Nivasa, and Laurie Baker Center. And we have covered 6 states from India: Maharashtra, Odisha, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Madhya Pradesh. So we started this study with an objective to assess the value addition of this government program and what can be done to strengthen them. So this report covers around 30 villages and based on the ground experiences that we encountered during the surveys. So this brings us to the question: what are the emerging trends in rural housing across the villages in India? So few of the important key findings were
if you look at the houses that are being built under the government housing programs, they are now they are moving away from the context sensitive approach. So across the states that studied under this project, we have observed that shift towards the standardized concrete houses model. Then there has been very limited adaptation to the local climate, culture, and materials. This brings us to the next question: from people's housing to program housing, what change in the villages? So one of the the figure presented here is from Odisha chapter that talks about the shift happening in the kitchen space. As you can relate to that, we can see in the picture in the corner the relation of kitchen to the pakka house and what has valued more. And this study looks into three categories. The first one is government built houses, second is state led government schemes, and third is self built houses. The major key findings from the work that has been done in the report are, as Kirti sir rightly pointed out during his speech, the main systemic issues lies in each layers. So one is the financial and implementation constraints. Then we have found about the social and spatial inequities. While talking with the people, we have found mixed experiences where there has been instances of good outputs, and there were also the examples or cases where we have found the poor quality outputs. And also the weak convergence has been found out in the process. So just to conclude with Kirtiji's reflection on the work, as he pointed out, our villages are our heritage, are being destroyed as habitat, curiously by investment rather than absence of investment. And yet very little attention is being paid to this transformation. So it is imperative to recognize this reality and collectively examine what can be done to safeguard and strengthen rural habitats. So uh, I re- yeah, so I really wanted to invite you all to read the report once it being released and reach out to us with your feedback or ideas for further collaboration, coalition, or any ideas how we can take this forward. So that was the purpose, to give you a quick overview of the work so we can keep the work going. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rutuja, for your presentation. And yes, definitely, it's a good work that it is you're going ahead with this innovative work and insights, handling that with along with the Kirti sir's thoughts. Yeah, so I think I would like to. Can you please come on the dais again? Sorry, Rutuja. I would like to request Rishikesh Kulkarni, Trustee SI Sustainability Initiatives and Director Partner VK Group, to felicitate Architect Rutuja. Have a big round of applause. Thank you, Rutuja. Thank you, sir. I would like to respectfully invite Vishwanath Phalke, Chief Marketing Officer, AVP Group, a principal partner of this program, to present a case study on affordable housing under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme. So, sir, we would be honored if you can share your experiences and remarkable journey, key aspects to showcase the success for this program. As sir will be explaining that it's an iconic project where PM Modi ji has inaugurated the entire project. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Or duplicate.
quick intro of Phalke sir. So Mr. Vishwanath Vaman Phalke is a techno-commercial professional with over 35 years of experience in real estate, sales, marketing, and project management. As a CMO, he is responsible for driving market strategy, customer acquisition, channel partnership, and brand level sales performance across the group. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaskar. I am Vishwanath Phalke. As Madam told, it's over 35 years of experience. And I find the auditorium full of like 25, 30, 35 years of age. It is privilege to people like us, where like we are now surrounded by the marketing strategies, surrounded by or bound by the government UDCPR rules and all. We never think out of the box. And the way I was not aware about this competition at all. And to my surprise, many of the developers who are of like-minded developers. See, the architects, the young architects, they are developing, designing small houses, like the house with the small areas, as rightly sir said, 350 square feet houses. Our group has never built a house more than 320 square feet. We always build houses of 300 square feet, 320 square feet. There are many developers who are like-minded developers. I feel they may not be aware the initiative which this group is taking. All the good works, all the thoughtful process, all the thoughtful initiations taken by this NGO or this architecture college must go to or should go to those kind of developers. I think those developers should be part of our initiatives so that they also know that these things which are getting designed and developed, those can be implemented, executed at the ground level. So here I'll be presenting a small case study. Our group is AVP Group. AVP Group consists of 3 companies. One is Vasant Vihar, second is Anukarti Homes, and third is Karma Yogi AVP Realty. We work only in affordable segment. So affordable word sometimes is very catchy. Sometimes it feels it may be of low quality. Right? The houses with the affordable rate means low income group housing, may not be with good quality, construction quality, may not be with the good amenities, may not be with good specifications. But we don't think like that. We are proud, and with pride we say that we build affordable housing, the houses which are affordable, specifically for EWS people, economically weaker section. So the Raynagar project which we will be talking about. So it's a most acclaimed project. This is a project where we built 30,000 homes. Till today, as a AVP group, we have constructed 1 lakh houses, more than 1 lakh houses across India and some outside India. In next 7 years, we'll be building another 70,000 homes, same with the EWS category. So I'll start my presentation. This is our company's vision. In our vision itself, we talk about socially impactful projects. Right? We are very keen that our project should have a social impact. Then high quality projects. We don't compromise on quality. It's a sustainable project. Affordable housing, not only affordable, it has to be aspirational house. So our vision states to become India's most trusted real estate developer by developing socially impactful projects that deliver high quality, sustainable, affordable and aspirational home. So the Kirti sir jab baat kar rahe the, I was like, I could relate with my organization. So whatever he was thinking, it was like a open thought. 5 minutes mein nahi hone wala, 10 minutes lagega kind of. Yes, so we have the similar kind of vision, sir. I'll tell you the land parcel which we own. There you can build a very good like bungalow scheme, very good like it's like at the foothills of Mathiran. We have 150 acres where we can easily build row houses, farmhouses, very good bungalow scheme. But there we'll be building 31,000 homes for mill workers. So it's a thought which we are working on. So what is our philosophy? So our philosophy is two. One is EMI is equal to rent. So we build homes for the EWS categories, those who are staying on rent. So their EMI, house EMI should be equal to more or less their the rent which they are paying to their existing rented house. So instead of paying the rent, they should pay the EMI for their own house. So that is our first philosophy. And second is the location which we choose, or the location where we focus to build the affordable or the houses for EWS. Their workplace should be close by. They should walk to work. Like in Mumbai, you cannot walk to work. So they should walk to the nearest public transport system. So in Mumbai, local railway is the lifeline. So we build houses near the local railway stations. So the project in Shelo, just 300 meters from the Shelo railway station. These houses are for the first home buyers. They are staying on rent. So we aim to uplift the lifestyle of the first home buyers. We say the size of the house doesn't matter. The amenities, the specification, how you build a house, how you build the infrastructure, that matters to uplift the lifestyle of the first home buyers. PMI has PMAY Affordable Housing Partnership in AHP. They have the norm that the household, the ownership should be to the woman of the house. So we also focus on the same thing. It is mandatory that the agreement to sell or the agreement of the house, woman should be there. If it's a married person, his wife should be the first owner of the house. So the empower woman by making them the owner of the house. And we take the new initiatives, we try to implement the new initiatives for making our townships or making our projects self-sustainable. As I told you earlier, we have built 1 lakh homes till today. In India, in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, all those states, in outside of the India, Nepal and Uganda. So we'll go to the Renagar directly. Because we have many projects to speak, but this is a case study and this is the flagship project. We all are very proud about this project. Because of this project, Prime Minister visited a city like Solapur. It's a 2-tier city, twice. And in our earlier project, which we built in 2004, that time Mr. Manmohan Singh, he was the Prime Minister at that time. He also visited for that project. So because of our organization, 3 Prime Ministers visited Solapur. So see the broad outline of Renagar. It's a 30,000 houses project. Ownership of the house is given to the woman. Cost per house is 5 lakh rupee. Out of this 5 lakh rupee, 2.5 lakh is government subsidy under PMAY AHP, Affordable Housing in Partnership. The house size is 300 square feet. It's a 1 BHK house, right? Bed, hall, living room. It's a bed, living room, kitchen, and bathroom, separate bathroom and toilet, having 1 small balcony. The subsidy per house is 2.5 lakh. So my 5 minus 2.5 is the 2.5. Out of that, 2.1 lakh is the housing loan by PSU banks, and 40,000 rupees is only the beneficiary contribution. So in this township, we tried for the sustainable initiatives like environmental sustainable initiative, where it's a green certified project. See, the organization here is instrumental in getting us this certification. So we estimate the electricity saving around 60,500 megawatt, which is equivalent to annual carbon emission of 10,500 cars. Estimated water saving is 3 lakh liter per day, which is 141 ml millions of liters per year, equivalent to used by 2,800 swimming pools, large swimming pools, 28,000 large swimming pools, sorry. And estimated carbon dioxide emission to be reduced approximately 50,000 tons per year, equivalent to 22.4 lakh trees grown over 10 years. We tried for the sustainability of economical sustainability by providing the solar rooftop solars, wherein the electricity bill per household has reduced from 800 rupees to 100 rupees. These are like technical things where 1 kilowatt solar is provided per house, giving 110 units. So in the payment, 800 rupees to 100 rupees. The electricity bill has reduced from 800 rupees to 100 rupees. In this township, it has Anganwadis, it has convenience shopping, the markets are there, schools are there, hospital, and then primary health center, small scale industries. Here we are building a lot of small scale industries. We have these training centers under skill development India, Skill India movement. So I go to the film. So I made the film of 10 minutes film. This will give you the whatever I was trying to tell, that will be explained in this film. So,
the very bottom of the pyramid of economic development are a large population of poor laborers. They toil hard, day in and day out, but cannot afford a secure home with 4 walls and a roof. Solapur in Maharashtra is known for the traditional handloom textiles and the beedi industry that employs thousands of women beedi workers. However, a large population of laborers here live in the slums. A renowned civil engineer from Solapur, the late Sri Anil Pandhe, had received global recognition for constructing the largest number of affordable mass housing projects across India for the economically weaker sections of society. In 2008, they executed a mass housing project of 10,000 homes for the women beedi workers in Solapur, called the Beedi Gharkul, in a public-private participation model. Looking at the success of Beedi Gharkul, 30,000 women laborers came together to fight for permanent homes. Under the leadership of renowned social worker and ex-MLA, Comrade Narsaya Adam Master, they formed 7 cooperative housing societies and gave shape to Raynagar Federation to construct 30,000 homes. Vasant Vihar Realty Private Limited, VVRPL Solapur, was chosen as the developer to execute the project on a public-private participation model. In Kumbhari village, bordering South Solapur, the entire land at measuring 365 acres was purchased by the developer, with the beneficiaries contributing Rs 6,000 each. VVRPL had worked out the cost of each apartment at Rs 5 lakhs, including the cost of land, which is probably the lowest anywhere in the country today. The next challenge was to get a government grant. In 2015, when the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi launched the Pradhan Mantri I.A.S. Yojana PMAY, representatives of Raynagar Federation met the then Maharashtra Chief Minister Shri Devendra Fadnavis, who forwarded their unique proposal of a public-private project to the central government.
They acquired 365 acres on their own, and they came with this dream to this government. The government of Maharashtra took this to the Ministry of Housing in Delhi, and it was approved as a special case, as a township under the Pradhan Mantri I.A.S. Yojana.
Very fortunately, the vertical 3 of PMAY was something which could accommodate our scheme, where private developers can come. Private developers, as mean as a developer in the society, both private agencies can come and submit the scheme to the government of India and Maharashtra.
Impressed by this innovative project, the Prime Minister gave consent under PMAY, with the central and state governments contributing half the cost and the beneficiaries having to share only Rs 2.5 lakhs each.
ये 30,000 परिवारों के लिए जो घर बन रहे हैं ना, आज से शिलान्यास हुआ है, चाबी देने के लिए हम ही हैं.
Now, For the beneficiaries to pay their share of rupees 2.5 lakhs, most of these women didn't have any savings. Timely intervention by the Prime Minister's office was a turning point for the project that ensured providing housing loans to the beneficiaries, water supply for the township, and additional funds for building large-scale infrastructure. Under the Central Ministry of Finance, a group of 8 PSU banks made special concessions to offer loans with EMIs matching the monthly rent they were paying. VVRPL specially deployed a large team of people with banking expertise to help beneficiaries with their loan documentations. Srinagar consists of 833 buildings of ground plus 2 stories to provide self-contained flats and measuring 300 square feet carpet area each to 30,000 families, all with women as house owners. VVRPL deployed its army of men and machinery for fast-track execution, whilst using modern monolithic concreting with aluminium shuttering. Multiple batching plants were set up along with a large fleet of transit mixers. VVRPL formed 20 construction cells for simultaneous execution at multiple locations. The project was constantly monitored by the Prime Minister's office, the Central Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Maharashtra State Housing Department, MHADA, the Solapur District Administration, and other agencies to ensure fast-track execution. Solapur being a water-starved city, the next challenge was supply of water to Raynagar. With the intervention of the Central Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the Ministry of Power, along with the district collector, a water supply treaty was made with the NTPC thermal power plant, situated 18 kilometers away, to supply 24 million liters per day water from their reservoir to Raynagar. Raynagar, in turn, would return 16 MLD of recycled treated water back to NTPC. This required Raynagar to build large-scale infrastructure for water supply and sewage treatment. In January 2024, the first phase of 15,000 homes were made ready for handing over. The remaining 15,000 homes would be ready in 2024 itself. Raynagar is evolving as an Atmanirbhar township, incorporating green housing norms with water recycling and renewable power generation through rooftop solar and solar parks.
We have converted entire electricity into solar here. So the electricity billing is coming to less than 100 rupee for every beneficiary. We are creating a solar city where the entire movement of the STPs and the way water supply, the entire billing is now on solar, and they even have electricity to sell it to the grid now.
There are Anganwadis, schools, shopping centers, public health centers, hospitals, yoga centers, and playgrounds.
Raynagar Solapur happens to be one of the biggest PMAY, Pandhe Awas Yojana urban that has been executed in this country. And more importantly, the benchmark in terms of the quality of construction, the houses, the balcony, which is there with every individual household, the open spaces, the amenities that have been created, the infrastructure, all these definitely have been kept in mind as of any other private township.
At the heart of this township is an incubation and training center for the development of industrial products and skill development for women and youth. VVRPL is also setting up an industrial ecosystem where abundant labor is readily available who can just walk to work.
this is the world's largest affordable housing project. So that in itself, completing it in a timely manner in itself is a very big achievement. Mr. Ankur Pandhe, who's the builder for the project, he had a very, very good attitude, a very positive approach. I think due to whom this project was actually successful.
For every 100 acres, we are designated 10 acres of land, which was mainly for women employment. So we are inviting garment industry, food industry, cell phone repair. These courses also we are starting. Call centers we are starting for youth.
On 19th January 2024, when Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi handed over keys to the beneficiaries of Rainagar, it was a dream come true for several thousands of poor women of Solapur.
आज पीएम आवास योजना के तहत बनी देश की सबसे बड़ी सोसाइटी का लोकार्पण हुआ और मैं जाकर के देख के आया, मुझे भी लगा कि काश मुझे भी बचपन में ऐसे घर में पहले काम करता।
Building mega dreams by creating the world's largest affordable mass housing project in Solapur in record time to accommodate a population of 1.5 lakh people. Rainagar has become a concrete symbol of the socio-economic emancipation of women at large.
Thank you. प्रश्न उत्तर असणार आहेत का? नाही ना? ठीक. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Farke sir. That was really touching, I would say, and we can see many smiles rather than a project completion aspect of this. Yeah, so I would like to invite Dr. Purva Keskar to felicitate Farke sir. Dr. Purva Keskar, Trustee Sustainability Initiatives, Director Partner at VK Group. A big round of applause. I think we should. It's really amazing work. Moving further, we would like to invite ONIC winner Riya Godambe and Vardhan Arora to present their design work, which has received special attention of a jury panel. A big applause for them, Ms. Riya and Vardhan.
Good evening. So Riya and I will be presenting our project Collective Habitat Beyond the Metros, which proposes an affordable housing model for Tier 2 cities under PMAY. So we began the project with one simple question: do smaller Indian cities need to copy metro city high-rise housing? What we observe today is repetitive concrete blocks that ignore climate, livelihood patterns, and social life. Tier 2 cities are growing rapidly, and Solapur, especially with the airport and its thriving workforce, becomes a good ground to explore. So most residents work here in mills, informal trades, or home-based occupations. So housing, we thought, must support not only shelter but work, community, and social mobility. So our site is located near the Solapur airport, where an up and coming neighborhood is being formed. So the project chosen was an already under construction MADA project. So through some site analysis and government documents that we found via the internet, we found out that the building that is being constructed over the site is somehow looks like this, which are like straight towers being constructed one after the other, which typically happens in Mumbai and slum metro cities. So we thought we could maybe undertake a different approach, which is suitable for Solapur. So the site has advantages like the affordability here is much it is much affordable than other parts of the city, and it has a few up and coming good connectivity. So the main challenges here are also the hot and semi-arid climate and some infrastructure gaps which are present. And there's as the current scheme presents, it's very disconnected. So this type of typical housing isolates families inside corridors, and there are no leftover open spaces. So typical MADA housing, what we observe, prioritizes efficiency, but often results in isolated corridors and inactive open spaces. So we thought our goal was simple. The movement spaces should also become social spaces. So we adopted a perimeter block instead of isolated towers. So the perimeter block allows us to have shaded internal courts, controlled microclimate, and safe shared spaces. So we then transformed circulation into interaction by introducing social corridors in the inner part of the corridors, which becomes as community niches and active ground edges. So affordable housing often fails at a ground floor level where it becomes parking or leftover spaces. Here we thought the ground floor level could be designed as a porous public edge where there are multiple spill out spaces, commercial areas, shaded seating spaces, and small gathering areas. So the architecture also reflects a visual connectivity between the courtyard and the outside street edge. So instead of only residential use, the ground floor contains community programs like clinics, Anganwadi, creches, skill development centers, co-working areas, and some live workshops, and along with some community halls. So this is the typical residential floor plan where you can see there are units placed across the whole perimeter, and there are some the portions which are colored represent the social spaces which are designed as breakout spaces, and they are present on every floor, and their character changes according to every floor and space, so that the housing block doesn't become monotonous like in a city block, and it represents a character similar to a village street where uh, basically there isn't repetition. So each square is obviously 300 square feet. So we designed user adaptive layouts which cater to multiple user groups and multiple usages. So every residential floor has this internal edge which overlooks the courtyards in between, which doesn't have a. So these internal spaces ensure visual connectivity between the courtyards and the outside street edge.
So we introduced different types of units where flexibility was the priority. So these were live, ex, work, live, and flexibility living. The reason why we had introduced a sort of live X work unit was that it reflected real economic conditions because many EWS households earn from home. Therefore, the building then becomes sort of an economic enabler and it's not just housing. This is an isometric of the entire scheme, which shows about how the perimeter block sort of adapts in a more isolated context. There are three main courtyards in the middle, which become both programmed and unprogrammed open spaces, which incorporate activities like play, community gathering, as well as sports. As you can see, the intention of color coding all of these were that they act as visual landmarks. So all the staircase ports are yellow, all the social spaces are red, and they sort of weave around the entire housing. The orange ones are also programmed social spaces. So we wanted to make sure that spaces like Anganwadis, libraries, workout areas, etc., are not just limited to the ground floor, but they can also be incorporated on multiple levels. We also wanted to relook at corridors and we wanted to sort of imagine them as social streets, which sort of stagger at different levels, allowing that kind of interconnection and also expand into these inclusive social niches, which allow for people from all age groups and gender to collectively meet together. And these then also allow neighborhood interactions and become spaces where celebrations take place, drying of papad take place, activities like weaving of baskets take place, and just like a communal space gets established. The similar niches which are carved on the inner side are also carved on the external. What this primarily does is that it helped us to sort of carve out volumes on the external block, and this helped us in allowing light penetration, better cross ventilation, and they also doubled up as communal spaces. These were considering the hot arid climate of Solapur. These were certain strategies which we had incorporated. These included green terraces and roofs, solar energy, rainwater harvesting, etc. So approximately 75% of the site remains open space, including ground courts, terraces, voids, etc. Green roofs act as insulation and help reduce heat gain while also improving biodiversity and rainwater control. This is a zoomed out section which basically incorporates everything, the staggering social corridors, cross ventilation, just shaded green spaces, and ground floor porosity. Another section through the staircase block, which is also imagined as something beyond vertical circulation, but also becomes a place of pause. The last section. So just to conclude, the affordable housing, we wanted to say that affordable housing should not be measured only in number of units delivered, but how it's also something where architecture supports community, improves livelihood, responds to climate, and restores dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Riya and Vardhan, and congratulations for your entry. I would like to invite our esteemed dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Kunal Tilak, Kirti sir and Anagha ma'am, to join us for the award ceremony. Can we have presentation for the award? We would like to request you to present awards and felicitate the winners. It's truly a celebration of their hard work and creativity. I would like to invite Vaibhav Chakravarti sir also. We'll start with the Housing Studio Awards. For under affordable housing category, winner is equitable housing, rehabilitation of Vishrantwadi Slum, Briggs College of Architecture. Big round of applause for the winners. Cash prize of 25,000 rupees will be awarded. Congratulations. Further, under the category of furniture and interior, Shri Tulzabhavani Shakti Grurachana Sanstha, Vishwakarma University. Is there anybody to pick up that one? Cash prize of 25,000 rupees will be awarded. Congratulations. Under the category of rural housing project at Tirumalapuram, Ranipet, College Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT Vellore. Cash prize of 25,000 rupees will be awarded. Now OINC awards under the category of affordable housing, affordable urban housing, second best entry, Gavipuram housing project by Rupa Kalinapur. Is there anybody to pick up that? Big round of applause for the winners. Cash prize of 50,000 rupees will be awarded. Congratulations, team. The winner for this category, Mahara PMA Affordable Housing Project, we just heard them. Cash prize of 75,000 rupees. Ria Godambe and Vardhan. Big round of applause for winners. Cash prize of 75,000 rupees is about. Under the category of furniture and interior. Under the category of furniture and interior, we have two winners. There is actually a tie because jury liked both entries. So we have winner one is Life Mission Housing Project by Anna Mary Chakojam Dilshad KA, and winner two is Chitrapat Janak Dadasaheb Phalke Township by Jitu Pune. Big round of applause. A cash prize of 75,000 rupees have been divided between them.
Congratulations. The rural housing category, second best entry, settlement pattern of Pandhe, and introduction by Rama Mitra. Cash price of 50,000 rupees with the effort. Big round of applause for this.
They make give it to us.
Congratulations, team. Winner for this category is traditional wagon and down construction by Shatakshi Samant. Big round of applause for them. Cash prize of 75,000 rupees if they are awarded. The other dress as a team. Slum improvement in-situ development. Here we have a special mention to the innovative idea, DIY shelter by Shraddha Khandewal. A cash prize of 40,000 rupees will be awarded. She's not there. Winner for this category is Knitting and Narratives by Niharika Tare. Big round of applause for the winner. Cash prize of 75,000 will be awarded. Congratulations. Big applause for all winners and for their hard work and innovative ideas and creativity. So keep on doing this, keep inspiring others. I would like to request all dignitaries to be seated in the audience. Before we invite our chief guest to express his words and thoughts to us, let me properly introduce him. He's the new elected councillor for Pune city in the Kasbapet ward. And he's a son of our ex-mayor, Muktatai Tilak, who has been a legend being a mayor. She transformed city streets by her vision and foresight. And through Kunalji, we have a young dynamic leadership in Pune now with this new election and elected house in the municipal corporation. And the reason why we wanted him here, sir, is slums and small housing within the city is an issue which is, I think, close to everyone's heart. You are from a part of the city where these small local Gauthan dilapidated housing stock is a norm. Even if they may not be slums, the housing is dilapidated. And through such initiatives, we would like to just put this thought in your head that
there are architects who are ready to work on something innovative, something exciting in our city. And if we could find a common ground where developers who are doing good work, designers who are ready to design for small units, not necessarily always for luxury housing and for fees, and we have the government vision to support it, we could perhaps create such great prototypes in our city of Pune. So with that, I would like to invite Kunalji to express his thoughts and his words to us.
Thank you, Anaga ma'am. Thanks to the Compare for momentarily promoting me as the mayor of Pune city. Unlike Kirti sir, I actually don't know what to talk about. I did not know that I was supposed to give a speech here today, so I actually don't know what to talk about. I am actually, I feel the odd man out amongst all the creative people around here, because I think I personally feel that I am the least creative in my family. So thank you for the reintroduction. So like you said, we have been associated for long, and you had been working with my mother, Mukta Chak, and we also worked together for a brief time when I was an intern at Pune International Center on some of the project reports that I was supposed to work on. And Kulkarni sir also, my wife was an intern in your firm. Yeah, and so she speaks a lot about the good times that she had during her tenure there. And Keskar ma'am as well, we have been associated for a long time, your family and my family. So thank you for inviting me here as a chief guest. And I was actually very much impressed by the presentations that were shown here. And I actually come from a constituency which is in the heart of Pune city, the Shanwarpet and Mandai, Mahatma Phule Mandai constituency. So it has a large amount of dilapidated structures, buildings which are now 30, 35, 40, 50 years old, which are in the need of redevelopment. And there are also a lot of heritage structures in my constituency which hampers redevelopment. So there are a lot of issues that since my mother, we have been working on how to develop the constituency, on how to go on about the redevelopment, along with although at the same time integrating the cultural aspects of the pet areas, which are really I feel the heartbeat of Pune city. We have the Shanwar Wada, we have the place where I live, the Tilak Wada, basically. We have the Vishrambag Wada, we have the Mahatma Phule Mandai, we have the Tulshi Bagh. So all the people who come to Pune city, all the people who live who live outside the pet areas, they come in our constituency. They come during Ganeshotsav, they come during Navratra, they come during all the festivals. So it brings a lot of problems for us. I mean, managing vehicle traffic, managing development and everything, managing waste and everything. So I actually agree with what Kirti sir said. The architects of today need to be reoriented towards the society, towards exactly what kind of society are we all living in. Like you also said, ma'am, that there will be commercial projects, there will be livelihoods to be taken care of, but the architects also should be able to differentiate between the commercial and the societal aspect of it. So we have a slum rehabilitation project that has been completed in my constituency. Around 2,500 people live in that society. And I actually don't know what kind of architects are impaneled in the SRA. So you might know more about it. But when I went there for campaigning, I realized two things. There's the more 90% of the people who live in that SRA, they come from two communities. One is the Zoshi Samaj and one is the Kashe Kapdi Samaj. So the Kashe Kapdi Samaj and the Zoshi Samaj both originate from Kashi, and these are the people who collect, used to collect, and they might be collecting now as well, cloths from the cremation grounds in Varanasi, and they collect these clothes and they clean it and they sell it again in the markets of Delhi and Haryana and wherever. So these people now have settled in Pune. A large, around 10 to 15,000 people live in my constituency and around my constituency of the Kashe Kapdi Samaj. So when I went there for campaigning, I realized one thing. It's a big 15-16 floor slum rehabilitation scheme, and with around must be 30-36 flats on every floor. What I realized is that they have, like you said, sir, like 300-350 square foot mandated by the government flats. But most of the space in those flats has been occupied by garments which they collect. So these are the people who come to our houses. They used to at least come to our houses. They are a rarity nowadays. They used to collect garments from us, old garments, and used to give utensils back to us. So most of the space, almost 90% of the space, except the kitchen and the bathroom, was occupied by heaps and heaps of garments in their houses. And they were sleeping in the lobbies next to the elevators and next to the staircases of these buildings, basically. So that's when I realized that the two young fellows gave a presentation right now about communal spaces where people could weave, where people could meet and greet everyone. So that communal space was lacking there, basically, where people could not store the goods that they had collected from the people, citizens, and they had to keep it in their homes. So that's when I realized that this is a big problem. This is a problem that nobody is talking about. What is the use of a apartment if you cannot live in it? If most of the space has been taken up by racks and racks of clothes. So that is something that architects of today and tomorrow need to think about. If you are working on affordable housing, the first thing that you need to know is what kind of communities are going to live in affordable housing. That is the most important aspect, is what I felt that day, and what I want to reiterate today as well. So what kind of communities are going to live in the affordable housing? What are the challenges faced by those communities? What is the kind of work that they do, and how can we accommodate them in their living spaces that we are going to create for them? So I don't know much about architecture and urban planning, but I am certainly most interested in it. I read a lot about it. I speak to a lot of people about it, and so I would very much be open to have discussions about it on how to develop Pune city. It has become an unlivable city, almost 8 million people now, and so we need to think for the future. We need to think about where our future generations are going to live and how they are going to live, basically. So these are some of the problems that you might face in your careers going forward. And when you showed the presentation, a question came to my mind: why does all affordable housing in India look like desolate, stark places? How do we integrate environment into that? You might know the answer to it, the challenges as well that come up with it. So why do they look like desolate, stark? They are almost like in a desert or something like that, with no greenery, no landscaping around them. So that is one of the things that cropped up in my mind when I think of affordable housing. When I think of PMRDA Yojana, the first thing that comes to my mind is stark, desolate places away from the city, with sun blazing around on top of them. And what can we do about it? Since you are building 40,000 more houses in the coming years, and so what can we do more about it? How can we integrate the environment into these affordable housing spaces? Is what the first question that came up in my mind. So we can maybe even think about that. And so, congratulations to all the winners, and best luck in your careers, and hope that you be very much successful, but at the same time also contribute towards affordable housing, towards and the biggest challenge is not about affordable housing in the rural areas. It is affordable housing in the urban areas, where space is a constraint and there are so many people. The density of population is on a higher scale. So I hope that we come up with solutions to it. I hope that we come up with good solutions towards it. So all the best to everyone. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you once again for inviting me as a chief guest. It was great to interact and to listen to Kirti sir and you sir, and look at to watch your presentations and to learn a lot about it. We can maybe meet and discuss about it more, about the question that I have put forward. So thank you once again. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra. Thank you.
Thank you, Subhaji. Yeah, well said. It's a great questions that you have put in mind, and we as architects should certainly look at it to resolve. Now, I would like to request my AV team to just present the video of keynote speaker, architect Geoffrey Payne.
I should introduce him.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Well, before I introduce Geoffrey Payne, I would like to say something about what you say. The tragedy of housing in this country is this, that our housing is a good example of what housing should not be. It's pathetic housing we're doing. And I go on saying this, that with 7% and 8% growth, our poverty will go away. But this poor housing we are creating in our city will be there for next 70 years. And why can't we do good housing? And I don't want to kind of go deeper into that, but fact remains that terrible housing that is happening in this country, and we know. So issue is not we are not doing housing. Issue is doing this, that we are doing poor housing of the new that we are doing. And there is no reason for doing that some other time. Let me introduce Geoffrey Payne. And Geoffrey Payne's most important qualification is this, that he's my friend for last 50 years. But Jeff is one of the most scholarly person I've known for last 50 years on housing, on urbanization, on city, on slums, and on land. He's one person who's worked in Asia, worked in Africa, and has worked in Latin America. And he's advised all his life the World Banks and Asian banks and other institutions. So to hear, and I think when we're deciding on who to get as a keynote speaker, I thought Jeff would be the best person to get. I don't know what is spoken, but let us hear him. And Jeff, thank you very much for agreeing to speak to us. Thank you.
To Kirti, my great friend for many years, and his colleague Bhuma, for inviting me to address you today to celebrate, I think, what we need to do regarding the awards that are the result of this competition, which I think is an immense way of encouraging people, both professionals and students, to look at the social aspects of the way people live in urban areas. And we are, I think, at this moment, at a critical moment for human history. We're looking now at these issues at a time when the climate crisis is making an enormous impact on everyone, everywhere, all the time. And the rate of change, the impact of the climate is accelerating. It's not just a linear acceleration, it's accelerating as a rate of change. And this is being felt around the world every day. And I think it does mean that architects, planners, engineers, surveyors, and all built environment professionals need to look at this as a matter of great urgency. It's also a critical moment because of the high level of economic inequality. We have 6 men who control as much wealth as the lowest half of humanity. And that is simply not sustainable. The economic convention is that we need to improve growth, to accelerate growth in order to meet the needs of the ordinary person. But growth has been partly the cause of the problem. So I think what we're looking at now is a time when everyone involved in the built environment needs to be looking very carefully at what they are doing in order to mitigate the negative aspects of inequality and the implications of the climate crisis. So it's in that context that I want to say congratulations to INHAF and to all involved in this, the jury, the applicants, the fact that over 200 people or organizations showed an interest in registering and that you generated such a large number of applications is in itself very, very encouraging. Now, of course, living in urban areas at a time when the land prices and the property values are going up very, very much, very rapidly, is a challenge for a large section of the urban population. So it's good to see that you're looking at making urban areas livable, albeit in small spaces. And I think this is very encouraging that students are also being encouraged to think of the social aspects of housing. I studied architecture, and I was always much more interested in the social and environmental aspects. I was terrible at anything technical. But because I was interested in the way people lived and how resilient they were, how governments and professionals could help them, I was very lucky. I got a Commonwealth Scholarship in 1970 to go to India, where I was based at the School of Planning and Architecture for a year, and I studied how people lived in 2 informal settlements in New Delhi. And what I learned there was the foundation for my career. And the main lessons I drew from that, when I was asked by somebody in the British Council what I was doing and why I thought it was interesting and what should be done about it, I said, well, the people are telling me that they want basic services, basic security, and to be left alone. Now, at that time, there was a very strong anti-urban bias in India, and the elite wanted to discourage urban growth. But of course, urban growth continued, and it's a global phenomenon, and it has to be managed. It can't be stopped. So how we manage that is a critical feature, a critical component of how we're all going to be able to survive in urban areas. Now, seeing students being encouraged to look at this, I find very, very encouraging, because you might be able to follow similar careers that I've had. I was fortunate after my studies in India. I wrote a book about that. I then got jobs teaching. I did research. I now do consultancy. And I've been coming and going to India ever since 1970. I should say on a personal level, I'm very committed because I met my wife there and we got married in Assam, and we're now celebrating 54 years of marriage. So it's been a personal wonder as well as professionally. And I was involved with India many, many years, including up to last year, looking at the needs of lower income groups and the development of the new state capital for Andhra Pradesh, Amaravati, as part of a large World Bank team. So the issues are very much alive, and I'm still very much involved in seeing how they can be promoted. So to see the schemes that you were doing, getting recognition, I think is very, very important, because it does hopefully set the scene for other young professionals to build the sort of career opportunities that I had. I think in terms of particular points, the challenge is, because of land prices, is that the locational aspects of low-income housing are very, very critical. I was concerned to see what's happening in Dharavi and Mumbai, where it looks as though, from what I've read in the UK press, less than half of the existing residents will be able to remain in the area. And the others will be relocated a long way from their existing homes and their employment opportunities. So these issues, I think, are very, very structural in terms of how we manage our cities. But at an individual project level, what you are doing to improve the livability of small homes, I think, is very good. The creation of social spaces between homes, the gardens area, the public open space, and of course the opportunities with high compact level developments to include social services, nurseries for children, and other requirements that make life worthwhile, including, of course, workshops and career job opportunities. So I would like very much to congratulate Kirti, all involved in this scheme. I hope very much that it will flourish. I'm just trying to think if there's any other particular points I wanted to make. But I think the important lessons are that given the pressure on land and the demand for housing, increasing the range of compact, medium-rise, medium high-density schemes, and making them really attractive places where people can live in harmony together. I think your criteria of making housing affordable and livable, both in urban and rural areas, I see you have a component for that. And also, of course, to improve existing slums. One of the big problems everywhere, where I've been working around the world, is what do you do about people living in urban slums? And there are some very interesting examples. I know of one years ago in Mumbai, where a developer wanted to remove a lot of people living in slums on his land. And the local authority said, well, we'll allow you to have an extra 3 or 4 floors, providing you accommodate all the existing people on your site. And that scheme got an award. And I think that sort of situation where developers are encouraged to negotiate with the existing residents, where low-income people can have security, access to services, and be allowed to flourish, not just survive, I think is the way forward. So I've been extremely lucky in my career. I've been able to work all over the world looking at these issues. I've been blessed by having great friends like Kirti, and we have discussions about all of these issues. I'm in a privileged position now because, having had my Commonwealth Scholarship, which opened the door for me to develop my career, I've now been able, with an existing charity, to create a scheme which will hopefully help the next generation in a very, very small scale. It's only one award that we've just announced yesterday, the Urban Kickstart Scheme, because I'm very, very concerned that at a time when the demand for urban housing, affordable urban housing, has never been greater, the professional resources are not as great as they need to be. So we need to do all we can in order to encourage professionals to look at the social as well as the financial aspects of development. So congratulations to you and all very, very best wishes. I hope you have another round of even bigger applications and successes in the future. And I hope this scheme gets a lot of publicity and encourages other institutions in other countries to do the same. So thank you very, very much. Congratulations to everyone who took part and obviously to the winners.
Very grateful to architect Geoffrey Payne for his insights. I would like to request Amina ma'am to give a brief intro about Kirtiji. So I know INHAF and Kirtiji is very much part of the host and definitely not a guest for this event. But we cannot help but admire his youthful travels that he does for the cause which is very dear to him, which is livability of small homes. And just on one phone call, when we say, sir, we need to meet, he catches the train or the flight as if ticketing is right next door and comes all the way to Pune. I think he's more than 80 years. I don't believe it, but I think he's past his 70th decade in this life. And but at any moment he just pops into the next available transport and comes to Pune, goes to Ahmedabad, goes to Chennai. He plans to leave for Chennai tonight and has just arrived in Pune in the morning. So just to appreciate his enthusiasm, his vigor behind all of this. Sometimes we are also a little down saying that, oh, does all this work that we do really matter? He's the one who props us up and says, no, we have to keep walking. We have to keep going behind what we believe in. So we would like to felicitate him. So Kirti bhai, please come up on stage and accept our very humble appreciation for you. I request VK sir, Vishwas Kulkarni sir, to please come up on stage, and Kunal Ji Tilak also to come up on stage, just as a small token of our appreciation for Kirti ji. Big round of applause for his energy and motivation.
Is this invite for next speech?
Next speech is next time.
I don't want to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your patience. So now we have come at the last part of this session. Before we disperse, few announcement. So we would like to have a group photograph of winners and volunteers and SI team, INHAF team together. So do not leave the premises once the program gets over. Also, the original checks are to be collected. And one check is to be left behind from, I think, SmartWorks. I'll confirm the name. So please collect that as well. And I would like to request Vaipan Chakravarti sir to share the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of sustainability initiatives and also on behalf of BKA Architecture and BK Group, which I'm a very proud part of, I'd like to thank everyone who has been part of this continuous journey that we have shared with INHAF over the last couple of years, and we hope to and to continue further on. For this evening, first and foremost, I would like to thank all the participants who even could not be a part of today's felicitation, but everyone who took the effort to come all this way and share this evening with us. You have participated, you have won you've made this effort, and brick by brick, part by part, drawing by drawing, you've contributed to something that we hope is going to bring a better future for livability in smaller homes, in sustainability, in rural homes, and in every aspect that you could be a part of. I'd like to extend my gratitude to Shri Kunal Tilakji for coming and gracing us with the occasion, contributing with your thoughts in the process. In absentia, Architect Geoffrey, Payne, who, being a dear friend to Kirtiji as his primary qualification, as you said, but we saved the best for last, and he could inspire us with his decades of work in India. And I would like to extend our gratitude towards him as well. Very, very importantly, it is sometimes difficult for many of us sitting in the auditorium to understand how difficult it is to kind of have programs of this scale without partnerships, without support, without good wishes. And to that, I'd like to thank AVP Group as our principal partner. I'd like to thank Mr. Vishwanath Falke for being with us this evening, because through this exercise, it was not a situation where there's just a partnership or sponsorship that is being shared, but experiences that are shared. We could be part of your stupendous effort that your group has put in, and really like to thank AVP Realty and Mr. Ankur Pandhe for their support for this event. And to no lesser degree, I'd like to thank ArchitectureLive for also helping with spreading this discussion, and through the internet. A lot of participants also probably got to know about this through them, and I'd like to thank them as well. Sustainability initiatives is an initiative that our company has come. We have all the directors and trustees of SI over here. Very few architectural companies, or let's say architectural consultants in architectural and environmental consultancy, has actually a trust of this nature by which we are able to kind of give back to our society. By giving back, we contribute with our time, with our efforts. Everyone who is here, Vishwas sir, Rishikesh sir, Purva ma'am, Anaka, Apurva, who could not join us this evening. And I think it is a tremendous effort that them, along with INHAF, we've partnered and we're able to do this. And I hope to see many of you, as Kirtiji said, who also contribute to us next year as well. Thank you. Please do stay for the group photo. Good night, everyone. So in terms of, I think I think we'll just have one photo with all the dignitaries, and then all the winners and participants, if we could also stay. We have one with all the dignitaries first, and then with all the winners. We must also thank Ketki for being the compare this evening. We have to rush into this. Big round of applause for him. All the
winners. Can we have all winners here for the photo? Thank you everyone for their patience and being here. And and good night. Hi teams, volunteers, please come ahead for the photograph. Enough team. Enough team.